And then the big one's like, Welcome once again to Chill Filter, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to, but you probably should. You probably are. Hey, that's why we like you. This is a very special episode. We probably should have done this a few weeks ago, but things come up. We were late even to put out the survey for the annual Chillies Awards. We've been doing this for a good few years, not since the very beginning, but we like to do a year-end awards ceremony. Just a show where we give a few awards to our favorite of categories and stuff like that. And that's what we're doing today. But before we get into anything of awards, whiskey, or anything like that, here's one way you can support us. The old hit us up on Instagram. We do have some new listeners. We've been picking up a few lately, and we love that. But we also love talking to our listeners. You can just hit us up and say, what'd you guys think of that Russell's Reserve 18 year? Or what'd you guys think of? No, I wish. Well, actually, Jack Daniels did their 14 year. I think it's about to come out, like, officially.
It's on the bottling line, yes.
Ooh, so that'll be great if I'm able to ever find a bottle of that. Dude, could you imagine?
I know.
Dude. Yeah, they're killing it over there at Jack Daniels. They have enough to spare. But yeah, that's the business this week. Feel free to reach out on Instagram or, email us at chillfilteredpodcast@gmail.com. We love talking to our peeps, and we're still not tired of it after all these years. So that's the business. So yeah, we got a fun episode. We're not going to do a history segment or anything like that. We're just literally going to drink our Found North Songle Barrel that neither of us have sipped since the pick, basically.
Yep.
And dude, this Songle Barrel is beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And
only thing it's missing is a sticker.
Yeah, exactly. Which we're figuring out. Actually, we can hopefully, we can say it, that luckily our distributor realized their error in not sending out stickers with the Songle Barrels. And they're actually planning on sending out Songle Barrel stickers to everyone that bought a bottle per bottle. So if you ordered 6 bottles, you'll get 6 stickers. So yeah, so that's pretty dope. And you can see our name on our Songle Barrel. So
yeah, hopefully sometime in the next couple weeks. I don't think it's going to take some time. They had to reprint some new stickers and send them there and send them there and then send them out to everybody else. So hopefully
you might give up on it before it happens, but it's going to happen. You might finish your bottle before it happens, but throw it on there, stick it on the wall, and tell all your friends. Chill Filtered, best of the Songle Barrels.
Yeah, you know what? If there was a way we could do first person to show us a finished bottle of the Chill Filtered pick gets a prize.
Prize of some sort.
Of course, we can't pull it. They could pour it in a Pyrex cup and then pour it back at the end of the day. But oh well.
What are you entry buzzing on for this special Chillies Awards episode?
I'm glad you asked. I'm entry buzzing on this fine bottle that I just received today.
Ayo, Hoverhawk.
Yeah.
Nice. I got mine yesterday.
Nice. Yep, got the Hoverhawk in today. And side note, as you can tell, my voice is a little off here. I seem to have picked up a little bug while traveling. But anyway, hopefully that doesn't affect the taste buds too much, but you do have to suffer listening to me talk like this. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, you get to watch me blow my nose into a muted microphone about 20 times.
Every now and then.
But anyway,
lucky viewers.
I definitely can still taste something though. And I feel like I remember saying Hoverhawk was just deep dark brown sugar stuff. And I'm getting the deep dark still on this. I'm getting heavy brown sugar on this. Definitely very good.
I see your Glencairn is cut crystal-ish. How do you like the Waterfords I got you? Not that I'm expecting you to drink them, but I was just curious.
Yeah, they ting so they're so pretty. Yeah. But I'm almost I'm too scared to use them. Like I will.
4 of them.
I know, and I'm absolutely a proponent of if you broke it because you used it, that's like you
That's a
did.
success.
Yeah, right. You lived.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, yeah, no, they're gorgeous though, and Sam loves them too because again, they look like the etching looks like birds of paradise, which is like
Yeah,
her favorite like
nice.
Hawaiian flower. It's just well, maybe not her
Did
favorite,
you
but
did you know that like I looked at some people look at the flowers of the birds of paradise and see that like the thing I'm talking
I
about?
know exactly
I
what you're gonna
saw
say.
it the bad way for
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, that's an interesting bird." But people were like, "No, no, you gotta flip it. You gotta flip it." So like this is
Yeah.
kind of what a bird of paradise looks like. And I thought this was like the beak,
Yeah.
where it's like, "Wah!" like, and but apparently that's the tail of the bird of
Yeah.
paradise.
And it's like fly it's like it's almost supposed to be like a hummingbird,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
with the
It's like
beak, like,
alighting
pointed
on a
down a
branch.
little bit. But, the noise that you made when you were like,
Uh-huh.
"Ah," I know you're visualizing this meme, right? The meme
Maybe.
there's somebody drew it out, and they drew the bird on
Yeah,
top
yeah,
of the
yeah.
flower, and, like, then the one which is the wrong way
Yeah.
has, like, hilarious looking, like, hair sticking up, and they drew, like, googly eyes on it, like,
Yeah.
"Whirr."
Yeah, exactly, like googly eyes, yeah. You ever see so there's an old Pixar short, and it's called For the Birds, and there's probably one listener out there that knows what I'm talking about, but it's about these birds that are sitting on, like, a power line, and, then there's this big doofus bird that joins a bunch of, like, small birds, and that's what I think of is this big you'll have to look it up. For the
Definitely.
Birds Pixar,
Yeah,
and you'll
yeah.
be like, "Ah, yes."
Nice.
But anyway, I gotta look it up myself real quick.
Yeah. Let's just take a break and watch it real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just this big doofus bird, and it's cute. It's a really cute short that they do. It's, like,
Nice.
like, 4 minutes long probably, or maybe even less. No, it's
Yeah,
three
yeah.
and a half minutes long. It's very cute, and,
Nice.
he's got a so all the birds were mic'd with, squeaky toys, so they all have beep, 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 and then the big one's like, It's funny. It must have been like a really oversized squeaky toy or something like that,
Awesome.
but it's and now you know. And now
Nice.
you know what goes through Cole's mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get a little glimpse into Cole's, very intricate, but also aloof mind.
We
It
know you
works
love the
in multiple
memes. We
ways.
know. We
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah.
So, what are you entry buzzing on?
I am introducing on one of my favorite pours of 2024. Maybe not the best thing I've had this year, but we'll get into that later.
Ooh.
Um, Russell's Reserve 15 year.
Heyo.
This is a good pour. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That blackberry base. I'm into thick base. And this has got a thick base to it. Not only the glass.
Yeah. We, so, 2024 in summary, I gotta
Yeah.
own up to the fact that when we did Russell's 15 on the show, I just was like, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Not really a fan. That was my biggest come around. That was my
Yeah.
biggest 180 that I pulled on
Yeah.
anything ever. And now I may not call it my favorite whiskey because there's a
Mhm.
lot of like
Yeah.
sentimental things that go into favorite and everything. But I think Russell's 15 is probably the most artisanally crafted whiskey of
That's a
2024.
great way to put it.
Yeah.
Actually, the funny thing is you talked about going 180 on a whiskey this year, and that was and maybe we'll get into it later. Actually, we will get into it later because we're going to talk about most Hubba What
Yeah.
whiskeys this year.
I
And
thought you
this
were
one, the
gonna
one that I'm about to mention on that is definitely my biggest 180 because we originally did an episode on it, and then later I was like, "Holy crap! This is even like I didn't catch any of this on the first episode
nice.
or on the episode part." Yeah.
I thought you were going to reference my meme I mentioned a couple weeks ago, where the biggest 360 I pulled on 2024. I just turned 360 degrees and walked right the other way.
I forgot about that. That's
The
funny.
Xbox 360.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. I made a whole 360 and just kept and walked the other way.
Yeah, right.
You know what they say? They say 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts do make a right. So
Perfect. You probably said that when we did the 360 joke last
I
time.
probably did. Knowing me, dude, I forget things so quick these days. Like, so quick. I like worry about my memory. At work, I'm like, did we talk about this? Should I know this? Dude,
Yeah,
it's
I'm pretty
rough.
bad too. I'm pretty bad too. I do have, I think I held it up earlier, but I've got our Songle barrel here,
Nice.
and
Uncracked.
yeah, I'll hold it up close to the mic and do it for everyone here. But I also
Ooh,
have, so ours is French oak. I have
yeah,
the Spanish oak from
nice.
Burlington Wine and Spirits,
And they got a sticker. Good for
and they
them.
got a sticker. And they got a sticker.
Yeah,
I have an American oak from El Cerrito.
nice.
So
That was the one
I've
I
got
liked the
three of the
most.
four
Who
here.
knows? Maybe that was the exact barrel.
I'll tell you. Granted, we did have very different opinions during the pick, but
It wasn't that different.
I haven't like blinded these, but I
Mhm,
did sip the Spanish oak and I was like,
mhm.
yep, awesome. That is just as good as I
Yeah,
remember and by itself. And then I
yeah.
sipped the American oak by
And then ate
itself
it.
and I was like, what the heck? I was like, this is not nearly as good as the Spanish oak.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'll blind it one of these
Dude, we
days.
should have gotten the Spanish oak. No, I'm kidding.
Did we? Yeah, we did have Spanish.
No, we had just,
Oh no, we
Amburana.
had
Yeah.
Ambrana. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
I had a really cool question for you. Oh, no, it wasn't a question, it was a story. So this weekend, I got my Songle barrel last Thursday or Friday, or the set I got of them. Like, I got 6, but some were for others. And, and so I'm like, "Okay, I get 3 of these," and so I took a sample from one of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going up to see Floyd at my favorite bar, which
Nice.
shall remain nameless because what I'm mentioning doing is not exactly legal. Um, but I was like, I'm gonna share this sample of my podcast first legit single barrel with my favorite bartenders up in Richmond. And I normally these guys work on Friday or Saturday nights, and so I'm like, sweet, I'll just go up Saturday. Heather was, happy to stay home and take care of the kids while they were already in bed. So I go up. It's like it's almost 8. Yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock. So it's not like early, but it's not late either. And I walk into the bar that I'm used to, seeing Floyd and the other guy at, and I see that one of the other bartenders, who actually I know, and I think he even, I don't know if he listens, but he follows the podcast on Instagram, was there, and I didn't even say hi. I was like, I looked, just made sure Floyd wasn't there, and I'm like, all right, I'm out of here, and just left. Even though I love that bar, I just feel like there's this awesome connection between me, Floyd, and the other guy, Ryan, where
Nice.
it's like when we're there, we just talk whiskey the whole time and
Yeah.
just have an awe for whiskey, which is it's really fun. You do that. I mean, you have tastings all the time.
Yeah.
There is a enjoyment and the word I can't get around is awe of whiskey. Like there is a
Right.
coolness and there is a specialness to making whiskey or to drinking good whiskey. And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
might go, maybe not this weekend, but maybe I'll go in a coming weekend, and we'll do what I
Yeah.
had in mind.
Yeah. A shared respect of like our finely crafted
Yeah,
whiskeys. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I totally get it.
Well,
Hopefully
what's
the
your? Oh, go ahead.
hopefully the other guy that you ditched doesn't listen.
Yeah, exactly. Brian, sorry. Um, what's your bottle number?
Oh, ho, ho, ho. I didn't
On
even
the
think to
right.
look. Bottle number 9.
Nice, lucky you.
I'm gonna go check
I
my
got a
other ones real quick.
105er. I think I
Yeah,
got like that
you got
range.
multiple, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll take a walk break
Yeah,
maybe here in a bit, and
yeah.
I'll go
It's
check.
just
But now
yeah.
that I got a 9, man, that's pretty cool.
Dude, how did you get so lucky?
I don't
You're
know.
like, keep an eye out for that Brian guy. Give him the low numbers.
Well,
Yeah.
my name was first in the pre-order
Oh,
spreadsheet.
that's
So,
true. But I
but no,
still
you
got
said you're
105
117. Yeah,
range.
you were second on the
Maybe I got
spreadsheet. So,
100. I actually need to check also during the break because I got like 6 bottles and one's 105 and 2 were like 103, 104. So maybe I did get 100, a hundo.
oh, that's cool. Yeah,
That'd be cool. Yeah.
nice.
Save that one for
Check out.
special.
You commented on my Glen earlier.
Uh
Check
huh.
this out. Look at this Glen. Can you see
Is that
that?
the CIA?
It is.
Nice. How'd you get that?
Thanks to my CIA buddy. This is straight up from the CIA gift
Dude,
shop.
they go fancy. They don't just give Glencairns at the CIA. They give cut Glencairns at the CIA.
Yeah, right, right.
Where were you? Where is he live in Langley or something, or does he work?
Honestly, I don't know.
You're
And you
like
know what?
not allowed to ask.
Even if I did know, I probably wouldn't say anything.
Yeah. Mhm.
Maybe you know what? This is just the CIA guy that listens into our podcast and just monitors what we say every time we
Yeah.
record. This is
It's
from
like
him.
a
Just
Campari guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think we kind of made that obvious on the
Yeah,
Wilderness
no,
Trail
we did.
episode.
There was there was a straight up reference to the guy sitting and listening to us right now, or
Yeah.
so somebody
Mhm.
said something like
Yeah.
that. It
I
might have
think I
even
probably did. Knowing me, I don't care at that point. Like, sure, you
yeah,
can
right.
listen in. We'll say what we want, and we're not gonna like.
Yeah,
It's not like we're gonna say anything dumb or like incriminating
yeah.
to your brand or something like
I
that.
know, right? It had to have just been like waiting to see if we were asking questions like tell us what your next release is, or like
Yeah,
tell
but
us what
like
your
Pat Heist is smarter than that. Like, I
yeah,
don't
I
know,
know.
but I guess
I
it's
know.
like they. It's not like they're in a way they're his boss now. So
Yeah, true.
yeah, but
I'm sure they need that accountability, you know.
do you remember what Wilderness Trail sold their portion for?
No,
Wilderness
but
Trail
it was a
sold.
lot.
He like let's just say this. I wouldn't have said this on the episode, but I bet he's just rolling in it now. Sells for they sold his hat or the 70% of the company for 420 million. And I'm
I was
sure
gonna say
Dr.
400
Pat
million.
got a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Um yeah. Holy crap, dude. We should start a whiskey company. Like Penelope. How much did Penelope go for? It was stupid.
No idea.
Dude. All we gotta do is just do good for a few years. Like do like these like only pick the best stuff and like
Yeah.
go into debt so that we can like pick like the best barrels at MGP because MGP is in a surplus right now. And we'll just like wait a few years until that surplus like becomes fruitful. And Penelope only sold for 105 million, which
Wow.
it makes
Only.
sense when you look at like to me Wilderness Trail versus Penelope, but they literally were buying their own barrels back. MGP was
Yeah.
like Wilderness
I think we're a
Trail is
little
doing all their own stuff, but yeah, it's just the
I think we're a
barrel.
little late to market, Cole. Sorry.
No. Here's the thing: is like there's this, there's articles like where's the whiskey glut or whatever, and it's like, dude, it's right now, and like, I mean, my investment into MGPI stock has tanked, like
Oh, really?
tanked. Like I like my cost. I'm not even gonna go. I'm not gonna talk about shares, but my cost basis on MGP was low in a good way because it went up to like 120 or 130 at one point.
Yeah.
Maybe 120 is just probably more reliable. But my cost basis was $80 a share. And now it's in the 30s. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I have no losses like I've seen with MGPI. Which
Dang.
is fine. I didn't have too much in there. I'm not like
Right.
putting
Yeah.
all my money into MGPI. But like that explains what's going on in the whiskey industry right now. So the fact is that 2 years ago, these companies were expanding. Like even like this probably won't apply as much to Buffalo Trace, but Buffalo Trace just put in $1 billion expansion a few years back. And like all these, smaller companies are putting in like so many barrels. They're making all
Yeah.
these barrels. And so here's the thing is that yes, barrels were big a year or two ago. But in 10 years, who knows where the market will be for those barrels that they put in 2 years ago. And we'll get some
Yeah.
killer so here's our plan. Wait 10 years till the podcast is 15, 16 years old.
There you go.
Really have that following.
Yeah.
Make a lot of like sell a lot of MGP stuff and then get bought out for hundreds of millions of dollars. It's easy.
Easy. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Everyone should
Save up
do it.
until then. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
But
I
by that
wonder
time,
if
we'll build up some angel investors and stuff like that. So
perfect. Perfect. I wonder if Buffalo Trace, with investing so much in their infrastructure and everything, you know, it was with as big as they are, they're able to
Mhm.
plan, they're able to invest for their expectations for 10 to 15 years into the future, you know,
It's a hard
way
biz.
further than somebody else. So maybe they're already planning for after the downturn and for the next
Mhm.
upturn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're laying down barrels that'll be 15 years old by the time the whiskey booms again or whatever.
and they're holding on to barrels too, like Double George Very Stag.
Yeah, that's going to be like 35 by the next whiskey
Dude,
upturn.
can you imagine? We've talked about this maybe once or twice before. We should probably get to, like, the drinking and stuff, but we've talked about this
Probably.
a bit before. But did you know that they didn't put out, they tried to age a 28-year-old whiskey one time and, like,
Yeah.
vinegarized in the barrel?
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Just crazy. But it's so
Crazy.
cool that they're willing to try.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. So, all right, I guess that's that. Speaking of vinegar, let's go to a quick break. We'll check on our bottles of our Fel North Songle barrels, and after that, we'll get into our Chilies Awards. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back. And so we got some categories, and we put out surveys, and appreciate all that we're able to chip in to fill up these surveys with great answers. And we're going to go through some of the categories. Brian,
Yeah.
I guess we'll start with what people said, what our listeners said were some of their favorite episodes of 2024. Or
Yeah.
let's should we crack first, actually?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Let's crack. Let's
All
crack.
right.
Here, I got some crack-a-lackin' for you. See if you can hear
Very
this.
high pitched. Let's see if it's as good as I remember.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's breaking everywhere. Oh. Yes. I love when the wax comes off the top because
Just
the top
cracks
is
right
so
off.
beautiful. Yeah. Well, it's just like the top, leaving the whole like wood stopper
Mhm.
visible. It's beautiful. All right, one, two, three.
Ooh, you almost spilled some by that sound.
I probably did actually. I don't know. And this is going in
Ooh,
a CF blend, of course, of course.
wow. It is. I'll be honest. It's a little. Uh, what is it? A rubbing alcohol in the nose. So far, I haven't let it
Yeah,
breathe or anything like
yeah,
that, and I haven't given it the old spin, Jay.
yeah, yeah.
But let me give it a moment more.
On when I was sipping Hoverhawk, it was coming across
That's much better.
a little not proofy, but yeah, like
Mhm.
rubbing alcohol-y.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh no, maybe that's an artifact of my congestion I have right now, my lovely congestion.
Well, the funny thing is when we did the pick, you poured them all ahead of time, so
Yeah.
they
Oh,
were
so
able to
they
breathe
sat for
for
a
a little
while.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got none of that, and I'm actually picking up not much of that anymore. It's really faded now that I've given it a little more energy to the
Nice.
spin.
Well, you will be our primary taster today, sir.
Nice. Notes that I got on the pick, my biggest note was like a very viscous honey, and like on the flavor more than pop it off. Um, like the main palate note was like actual honey, but it was like almost like
Oh,
very
yeah.
thick honey. It was really good.
I remember you saying Manuka honey not too long ago. Was it during the
Mm.
pick or was that
I
for
don't
something
think it
else,
was
maybe?
during the pick. No.
Yeah.
But that is some thick honey, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah.
Oh, man.
It's very
Yeah,
buttery.
lots of wood here for me too.
Mhm. It's sweet. Yeah, buttery oak is probably one of the dominant nose notes on this guy.
For me today,
Mhm.
the oak, the wood is it's not so much oaky And it's not a sweet wood, it's not a sugary oak for me. It's more of a very dry, like if you smell like
Ooh.
a cedar box. That's
Yeah.
more of what I'm getting today.
So that's actually a really good note. Now that I've even taken a sip of it, it's kind of like a cigar, like a cedar cigar box,
Mm,
but not in like a rye way. It's got a nice dryness to it, what you'd expect out of a cigar box. Um, I am getting honey, not as dominant as I was getting before, which is fine. I want to remind our listeners that this is a portion of 21-year corn, 20-year corn, 15-year corn, and 8-year wheat. So it is. There's not. I don't even. Yeah. There's zero malted bees in here. It's just wheat. 29% wheat, 71% corn,
yeah.
and
Um,
most of season four. Season four all had the same mash bill, correct?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I think we picked a good one.
And you picked the
Check
ones you
this
have
out.
otherwise are season four, correct?
Yeah, yeah. It's all season
Mhm,
4, because it's the experiment between
mhm,
French, Spanish, American, and Amburana. They also varied the char levels of the finishing
mhm,
casks. Now, check this out. In
mhm.
my right hand here that I'm holding up to the
Okay,
camera
okay, okay.
first, this is a Spanish oak no char. You don't need the camera to focus on it. Just look at the
Yeah,
color.
yeah, look at the
In
transparency.
my left hand that I'm holding up now
Ooh, a
is
little
our
darker.
French oak char number 1. And I guess let's go ahead and get some focus action going, cover up my face.
Ooh,
The no char, the lightness of the color of the no char
yeah,
really it's a much more of a stark difference than I thought there
yeah,
was going to be.
yeah, me too. Yeah, I really do like that note of the like a cedar box.
Mhm.
Um, but it's not in a cedary way like we can get for not Wilderness Trail, Driftless Glen.
Yeah.
That cedariness is like junipery and not junipery, it's cedary. But it's also like very spicy. This I wouldn't say is like this is more dull spicy, if anything, in a honey and like brown sugary way, as
Yeah.
opposed to like yeah, like I said, Driftless Glen, which brings out a lot of you know evergreen notes and stuff like that.
I'm curious now. Shared pour, trying to pull
Hmm.
it up real quick. They had a French oak found north.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I don't need to get it because ours is French oak." But now I'm
Mhm.
wondering what their char
What the
level
charlo
was.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, was it?
ours was uncharred, it was just toasted?
No, ours is char 1, so
Okay,
ours was
gotcha.
definitely charred. But
Nice.
the Spanish oak that I had was no char,
Yeah, look at that.
and the American oak that I have is also char 1. So I don't have any heavier char 1s, but
Yeah.
oh well. Anyway, let's do some questions.
Yeah. Okay, first, we asked many people what were their top 3 favorite episodes, and, we got a definite answer on that
I
one.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, people love their Found North episodes.
Mhm.
And now the thing to call out here. Actually, let me go through first. So 8 people, 8 votes for different Found North episodes,
Yeah.
interview episodes, because we did
Uh-huh.
multiple Found North episodes. And like I say 8 plus in my list here because some people called out in the same person called out multiple Found
Oh,
North
nice.
episodes.
Yeah.
Next up, the next most popular was Wilderness Trail, the Pat Heist
Yeah,
interview.
interview episodes.
Then it was the JT Mellick interview episode. Then it was the A.
Wow.
Smith Bowman
Yeah, she
interview
was
episode.
fun. Mia?
So yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that one for sure.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't on that one.
Yeah.
The Everyone, every single person that submitted answers to the survey
Yeah.
mentioned at least one interview episode as being
Yeah.
their favorite. And over half of all votes for all episodes that were submitted were interview episodes. So I think people like interview
Wow.
episodes.
So it's funny because some of our like long-term listeners are like, don't do too many of those. Like, but I think they enjoy them, but just don't overdo them. Is really
Yeah.
what I kind of get. Is like we
Yeah.
want. we want you guys too. Like we want,
Yeah.
they want, Cole and Bryan too.
Personal. Yeah. And there's a sweet spot. Maybe we're in the
Mhm.
sweet spot. I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
I would
guess
say like one every 5 or 6 is probably a healthy amount. If we could pull,
yeah.
I don't
And
know how
actually,
many we had this year. And we had Kings County. We had
yeah.
at least 2 Nick
Perfect
Taylors.
fifth.
Yeah, Perfect Fifth was we. Did we have him again this year? I
No.
think it
I think
started
we
last
only
year.
I think we
Yeah,
only
I
had him
don't.
once.
Yeah, I no, but I think it was. I think it was technically end of last year that we had
Oh,
his interview episode, Carl Schoen. But we
gotcha.
had Mia. We had Mark. Not Mark. Although, did we have a Mark Viertaler?
I think so.
Okay, there
Oh,
must be.
Iowa?
Yeah, so we put. I mean, every 5 to 6 weeks is like one. There's 10 episodes, so we're close to that. And we had Colonel
Yeah.
Hughes, even though he wasn't an interview. Although, what's his name? At A. Smith Bowman. Crap.
David Bach?
David Bach. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, good. Whew, that just like
Um, yeah.
yeah, I
Uh,
did check. Someone said that their favorite episode was Michter's 10 with Colonel Hughes, and I looked just to
Nice.
make sure it wasn't John Hughes who voted for
Ooh,
that. And it wasn't. So
it was his wife. Like, I'm
yeah,
a
yeah.
big fan. Meanwhile, John is yelling at his radio right now, being like, "She doesn't talk like that." No, John Hughes is a very reasonable man. He wouldn't yell at his radio,
He does every now and then. It's okay. It's healthy
but
to
it's
yell
for
in your
good
car
reason. It's when
sometimes.
we don't know what he does know. It's like when I'm like, "What's the name of that one guy from that one thing?" And that's the good times where it's good to yell at the radio. Um, but yeah, he's a
Yeah,
very
or when somebody
you guys,
says they turn 360 degrees and walk the other way, you're like,
yeah,
it's 180 degrees, you
yeah,
idiot.
yeah. Yeah, that's not
uh,
the John Hughes
yeah,
comment that we'd hear. We'd hear
yeah.
other things like corrections in good ways.
So
Um,
now for
yeah.
you,
Mhm,
what is
mhm,
your
mhm.
favorite episode that we did?
So it's hard because I have enjoyed a lot. I always love the Christmas episode. It's hard to get by that, but I can't fully say it was the Christmas episode, even though I loved it. I just feel weird saying it was the Christmas episode because we get a bunch of fun gifts from our listeners. But I
We
do
also gave
think
some high value stuff away
we
too. So
did,
it was a
and
good
for
balance.
those, they should probably by the time this episode comes out, they should probably have all received
Yeah,
their sweet, good rewards. But if you
totally.
haven't yet, just know that it's very close to arriving, everyone. Um, and but I'm gonna
So
go. Yeah, go ahead.
Christmas episode, but no. So what else?
I can't say Christmas episode, so I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with A. Smith Bowman interview. I
nice.
love talking to Nick Taylor. I love talking to all the other interview people we had, but there was something about you and me being in person,
Yeah,
as well as like David Bach was super cool guy and like
yeah,
super chill and just like I remember even just talking before the episode started. He was just such a cool guy to talk to. Similar to someone like Nick Taylor, where it's just easy to talk to them, but it also it wasn't all in the episode itself, but we had a fun time at Ace
yeah,
with
for sure.
Bowman. Yeah.
There was something just like magical about that because it was like a rainy day. We
Yeah.
were hauling boxes of podcast equipment
Yeah.
into
Mhm.
the office,
Mhm.
while it was kind of like sprinkling lightly
Yeah.
and everything, and we were setting up in there and doing sound checks that we lesson learned. It wasn't the best sound in the world,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but
We
we
always
learned
learn that.
something for next time. Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah.
totally worth it.
No, but that was a fun one. And then after, he's like, "What do you guys want to try?" And I'm like, "Can we try some, and I won't mention because that's actually going to come in later, but
Ooh.
I
Well,
dude
I
was
was
like
the
very
one.
generous. And dude, it was awesome. So a lot of
I
my joy came from the A. Smith Bowman interview
Yeah,
this year because I was like, first of all, what an honor to be treated so well by a Sazerac owned company.
yeah.
But it was awesome. What about you?
So yeah, I remember it was me, like I put it on you and I was like, "Hey, so Cole's always wanted to drink straight from the
Oh
barrel."
yeah. And he's like,
Like,
done. He's
yeah, I
like, I'll
know.
do whatever you want. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. It's like, "No, not me though. Just Cole."
Yeah, yeah. I don't care
So
at this point. I don't care.
So,
Yeah.
favorite episode, yes. For me, it's undoubtedly the drinking all the Found Norths with Nick Taylor.
Nice. Dude, I forgot that was this year. That was a killer episode.
Just
I was toasty after that one.
insane generosity.
Yes,
Nick
for sure.
poured us samples from his own collection. He
Not
didn't.
only that, but he sent two
Oh yeah,
packages of the same thing to me because one might not have arrived on time by the time we were recording.
right.
And what was that? Was that for Helldiver?
Um.
No. Was it? No, it was for batch 9.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they
we drank up to 8 or
for
9.
me, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, anyway, they did the same thing for me. There was a sample that wasn't going to get to me on time, so then
Oh,
they
really?
like next dayed one. It was,
Amazing.
I don't know, one of the 100 mils, but anyway, their generosity
Yeah,
is unparalleled. So, and yes, of course, just drinking every batch, and then with
yeah.
the guy who made it sitting there telling us the
Dude.
journey that he
And,
went
like,
on
what
for every
everyone
single
meant.
one. Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that was yeah, A. Smith Bowman and the tour and everything, that was a life-changing experience. But,
Yeah.
in a remote video chatty, as life-changing as a video chat with someone can be, that was number one most life-changing video chat for me.
Alright, we took a quick break, but something came up last night, and we had to pause the recording, so we're back. Still drinking Found North Songle Barrel, but we're on to question number 2 now. And question number 2 on the survey was, "Which of these whiskeys have you had?" And we listed all the whiskeys that we tried, even the individual ones from, like, the Found North episode. And it turns out that the tie for the most people have drank this year was Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, batch C923, and then Found North batch 9. So they had the highest score, only followed by JT Mellick, but that was probably because it was a
Drink along.
well, I don't know, because we probably should have said that was the JT Mellick's, but did we break it down?
The
Because we did the high proof one, and then we also did the legacy one, but they were actually
so
both
technically,
drink alongs.
you on the form, it was like, what did we drink for that episode?
Mhm.
Which it was like some single barrel. So
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like, hey, who's had this single barrel before? I
Mhm.
didn't want to, and
No,
there were many people who said JT Malik, and I just figured,
nice.
we'll
Hey,
just leave it generic.
no,
But
and
out,
I hope they had a good time and enjoyed it because I did.
yeah,
I'm still blown away by them.
I did leave the Found North batches separated
Uh-huh.
into their
Yeah,
own, just because like there were so many. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm impressed at how
Yeah.
many of our listeners have tried the Found North.
Mhm.
For Found North to be as tried as like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof
Yeah.
C923, like
Yeah, that's pretty
that's
cool.
awesome. I'm glad that's gotten to the hands
Especially
of so many people.
yeah, especially batch 9. Batch 9 is my favorite
Yeah,
batch.
yeah,
So
nice.
We also
Oh,
got
and
some in third place. We had a big tie between
yeah,
Old Forester 1924, Garrison Cowboy 2023, Found North Batch 8 and 10, Russell's Reserve 15 year, and E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye, which is good
that
for those people that were able to
yeah.
try the Barrel Proof Rye because that's rare.
That was a
And then,
surprising one for me. I'm impressed that many people also got to try the barrel proof rye.
uh,
That's that hopefully at a bar,
yeah,
but
yeah, hmm you looked into it a little more and found that there were 2 people that have tried at least batch 1 and batch 2 of Found North.
I know. I thought that was
Who dat?
exciting too. So, little side shout out here to Dramhound and Max,
Mhm.
the only two other people who responded on the survey, other than us, of course,
Yeah,
who have had the opportunity to try batch 1 and 2 of Found North.
pretty
So that's
crazy.
pretty cool. Yeah.
It doesn't surprise
Uh,
me with Dramhound because he's from that area,
totally,
or at least
totally.
lived there for a while, like from
Yeah,
where Found North is based. But
yeah.
then also Max is a go-getter. He'll find it. Did he get
So,
it? Did he have a connection with you to get that batch?
so yeah, I actually shared. I had like this much left of my batch
Ooh.
1 and batch 2.
Oh, nice.
That like we've got pool samples,
Yeah, yeah.
but
That's
then
right.
in addition to the pool samples, I had like this much left. And so when Max came
Nice.
over, I was like, "Hey, thanks for coming for the meetup and everything.
Yeah,
I'd love for you to try this." So he got to try
that's
it
cool.
here.
Yeah, that was one
Yeah.
of my favorite batches.
Yeah, some zeros though down the
Uh-huh.
list
Yeah.
of bottles that nobody got to try from our
Yeah,
episode
apparently.
this year. So I'll starting with the obvious ones first. Pappy 2015, Van
Yeah.
Winkle Rye, Saz 18, Eagle Rare 17, William Leroy Weller. Though I feel like that's surely changed by now since people
Hopefully.
responded to the surveys because I know
Well,
Klepzig's got to try
David
Eagle Rare.
Lipinski's tried William Leroy Weller
Oh, really?
2024 now.
Good, good.
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought it was funny. Yeah, of course, Hoverhawk. No one had tried Hoverhawk at the
yeah.
time because we all literally
Yeah.
just got that.
Mhm.
But yeah, the Egan 17-year Irish Old Charter French Oak. That one surprised me a little bit that no one's tried the
Yeah.
Old Charter French Oak yet.
Uh-huh.
The J. Mattingly 1845. Yeah, the last drop. That doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
That's like the ultimate no surprises. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Buckner's 17 though, that's my one where like y'all need to try that. If you get the if you
Yeah.
get the opportunity to try that Buckner 17. And it is a
That's
single barrel, so I
yeah.
never know. I did see it recently when I was on travel and
Oh, nice.
the Buckner 17, the MSRP on that is like 400 plus. I was like, and
Dang.
I checked to see if it was the same one that we tried on the episode
Yeah.
because I really, really liked that. And
Yeah.
it was not the same barrel. And I was like,
Would
there's
it have
not
been
a
worth 400?
I might I'm just like for fun factor
Yeah.
and the
Well,
fact
what
that we
if it
did it
was
on the
like the
show and everything.
match? Like if it was the single barrel we had,
If it
would
was the
you?
same
Yeah.
barrel, I might have gone
Yeah.
ahead and pulled the trigger just for that
Mhm.
extra little fun factor. But I haven't been buying as much other random stuff lately.
Yeah. It's
But
off
anyway,
season now.
not that I need to justify that at all, but perfect fifth cannon gate. Yeah, nobody got to try
Mhm.
that. Bowman French Oak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was good though. Blanton's red.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Nobody
Japanese
said the Blanton's red.
specialty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Buchanan's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which somewhat doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, right.
That might have been the cheapest, like I hate to say cheapest, but I mean it, like the cheapest pour we had all year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, something's
Mhm.
gotta be the least
Yeah, we gotta
expensive.
do we
Yeah.
gotta do some low shelf stuff here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Before we get to our next question, we have one more. The
Yeah.
next Chili's award, at least survey award, uh, one of the ones that we did drink, of the ones we did drink this year, what were our listeners' favorites? So we
Yeah.
got there. We got a big winner.
Yeah. Clear standout,
Mhm.
Coy Hill.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
The bunch of
But
ties
of
for the
course, they're all
rest.
single barrels.
Yeah. Bunch of ties for the rest. There's I guess some random shout outs here. The Bowman cast strength number 3. Yeah.
Nice.
Not surprised. That was delicious. Russell's 15, of course. The Brook Hill, actually. That people loving that Brook Hill. But
Yeah.
Coy was a clear standout. I think I'm glad so many people got to try that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not surprised so many people loved that. That was good.
I think we have 2 in our pool, right? We have 2 proofs.
I think so. Oh
I
yeah,
think we
we've
have a
got a
129 or
129.
something and a
Yeah,
124. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That'll be a fun Re-Entry Buzz episode.
I know, right? Yeah.
So, Brian, what is your Chili's award winner for at least episode whiskeys we've done this
Yeah.
year?
So for me, it's Russell's 15. It's
Nice.
that is just the most artisanally crafted whiskey, like I said earlier. But if I wasn't gonna give that obvious answer, which again,
Yeah.
it is my number
Mhm.
one answer, that Buckner 17 I thought was
Nice.
very, very good. So that's kind
Yeah.
of, I guess, like an honorable mention as for
Mhm.
just sheer deliciousness. I thought that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Did I
But
like that? I think I like that. It's just
yeah.
we've done 340 episodes thus far, and I forget some things.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure our takeaway from that was we would not at all be surprised if it was Heaven Hill and it was
Yeah.
like Elijah Craig barrel proof, but just like
Yeah.
more
Oh,
viscosity,
I
more
remember that.
flavor.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like, as if it, like, developed perfectly after a few more years. Yeah. Mhm.
totally, totally. And I mean, it was 17 years. So it's
Yeah.
like cast
Mhm.
strength Elijah Craig 17,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So what
Very
about you
cool.
though? Favorite whiskey from any episode?
It's been a fun year. I feel like I've tried a lot of cool whiskeys, just about 52 on the podcast. But I agree with you. Russell's Reserve 15 was the winner of the episodes we've done. It wasn't the best thing I tried this year, but of the episodes we've done, it was definitely just. Here's the thing about Russell Reserve 15. After drinking it earlier on my entry buzz, it's like it is soft for a 15-year. It's cask strength, right? Isn't it like cask strength? Or is it
Well,
like no? It's like
so
117.2, which is probably like Russell's 13, where it's like not cask strength, but it's like
exactly,
114 or whatever.
because all Russell's 13 batches are the same
Mhm.
proof, all
Yeah,
of them.
so it can't be the case. But
Yeah,
either way, it is so soft in the notes but it's still like full bodied at the same time. It's a very beautiful mixture of those blackberry notes, that oaky note, but in like a beautifully sweet way. It is
yeah.
so well developed, and I am so glad I got my hands on a bottle this year. So
I
yeah.
know. And you know how lately, since everybody's been saying it's their whiskey of the year, the
Mhm.
value's gone way up.
Yeah.
And
What is
I
that now?
now it's like 525. Yeah.
Dang.
It
It's like
was
twice.
400.
Uh-huh.
That's where it was,
Not
and then
bad.
it started coming out as everybody's whiskey of the year, so the value just
Yeah.
went way up. And,
Yeah.
I, randomly remembered last night, I went through some old text messages to see that, somebody was like, "Hey, there's a gas station down the street from you that has
Uh-huh.
Russell's 15 for a little over MSRP." I think it
Yeah.
was like 325 or something
Nice.
out the door, tax and all. And at the time, I was like, "I have one. It's fine. I
Mhm.
don't need to be spending money on another one. I'm
Yeah.
good." But like now like it's the FOMO is like getting to me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I should have
Well,
bought it.
I'm hoping they do similar to Russell's 13. I hope they do multiple releases, so let's
Totally,
hope so.
totally.
Yeah, I mean, it does
Yeah.
say 2024 limited release on it, so maybe they'll do a 2025 soon. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do think they're just leaving the door open to do whatever they want to
Yeah.
do and not be like
17 year.
oof, yeah, not be required to or not feel
Yeah.
any obligation to have to release it every year, you know?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
but you did mention just a quick teaser. You
Mhm.
mentioned it's
Mhm.
not the
Mhm.
favorite thing you've tried all year.
Yeah.
So just to tease that, because we will reveal what that
Yeah.
is later, the favorite of all year.
Uh-huh.
But first, before we move on to the next question, what from whiskeys that we drank during an episode is your
Yep.
most hubba what whiskey?
Oh, good question.
Which one surprised you the most?
So I did mention this slightly earlier on in the episode, but I didn't like I alluded to it, but I didn't say what it was. Maybe I did. I forget at this point. But maybe I did, yeah, because we talked about the episode I did with John Hughes, Colonel John O.
Yeah,
Friggin
the
Hughes,
Colonel.
and we drank Michter's 10, which some years is good, some years is not great. Same goes for their rye. Some years are amazing, and they're all single barrels, so you never know.
Right.
The single barrel I have on my wall right there, um, there. After that episode, I tried it and like just tried it in my home. Like I wasn't doing anything with it. Like I wasn't doing like a tasting, but I was just rocked by it, and it
Yep.
is gorgeous. Like it is so. But I gotta be careful. I don't pull a Jim Murray and say it's sexy or something like that. But it is so. It's everything you want in a bourbon.
Yeah.
Like everything, especially for a
Yeah.
10-year. It's like holy crap, it's so good. So yeah, that
Yeah.
really surprised me this year of all the episodes we did, and there were a few surprises. But yeah, Victor's 10 was my yeah, it just caught me way off guard, especially after the fact. So, what about you?
Yeah. So you did that episode with Colonel Hughes, and
Mhm.
I caught it after the fact, and I poured
Uh-huh.
some from my own bottle,
Yeah.
which,
Mhm.
if I remember correctly, it's not even the same like letter or anything. Like,
No, it's
it's
slightly
a
off. Yeah.
of course it's a different barrel, but it's a different barrel from like a different like section of the warehouse or
Yeah.
something, or a different
Hmm.
warehouse entirely. I don't know, but I was also completely blown
Dude,
away
what a
when I was
year.
sipping it, and it was just
Hmm.
like it was one of those feelings. I'm sure everyone's gotten this before, where you take a sip of something and you are just immediately like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like how is
Uh-huh.
this good just on your
Yeah.
first sip?" And like I love the stuff that you have to unpack and the stuff
Yeah.
that has complexity, and you're sitting here
Mhm.
and you're like, oh my gosh, that's hitting me on so many
Yeah.
levels. I got to figure out what's going on with the Mickelson bourbon at
Yeah.
least this year's and my barrel. You don't
Yeah.
have to figure out what's going on. Just as soon as it hits you, you're just like,
Dude.
holy crap, this is delicious.
Yeah, and it just blows my mind that I didn't catch that on the episode. Maybe no, but it wasn't even the quote neck pour because I had already poured 100 mils for the Colonel.
Oh yeah, right.
Um,
100
so it
mil,
wasn't
dang,
even it.
generous.
Yeah, no, when the Colonel joins you on an episode, you throw
Right.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And the more stars they have on their shoulder, the
yeah,
more
exactly.
the
The
more
more
milk
you got to
in
pour.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally, totally.
yeah. So
I did have, I guess, just a side mention too.
yeah, yeah,
Seagrass Gold did super surprise me too. I
yes,
don't,
that was
I,
a close
I,
second. Yeah.
I enjoy drinking Michter's Tin Bourbon more than Seagrass
Mhm.
Gold. But the Seagrass Gold was like, oh my gosh, how is this good? So obviously, hub it a what? So that gets a
And
little.
the reason I actually chose Michter's 10 over Seagrass Gold because it was a second place for me probably. Um, the reason I picked it was because I knew the Seagrass Gold was probably gonna be pretty good, and it
Yeah,
did exceed my expectations. But with Michter's 10, you never know. But that one
right.
was killer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I've got we did the episode on the Michter's 10 Rye, the 23H,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and then somebody gave me a sample of a 24 Michter's 10 Rye,
Nice.
and it did not compare at
Yeah.
all. It
That's the
was,
thing about
I
Michter's
know,
10.
right? Yeah, total crapshoot.
Did you ever get to try the Mick 10 I sent you, the bourbon from this year? I sent you a sample. Maybe you put it in the pool or something, but maybe I put it in the pool. Maybe
I
we
will
both
have
did.
to look. I am
Yeah.
very far behind on getting samples added to the
Now you're
pool,
good.
so one of
Now
these
you're
days.
fine. Busy man. All
Yeah,
right. So we also asked of the ones of the whiskeys that we did on the podcast that our listeners did not get to try this year, which one would they most want to try? So we actually had a tie here. And it was between actually 13th Colony Double Oaked and Found North Helldiver of
yeah,
the people that we also got some runner ups in the GTS George T. Stagg, SAS 18, A. Smith Bowman, Batch 3, I imagine.
yeah,
Um, anything Found North was a write in
yeah.
or something. And then Jack Daniels Coy Hill made the cut, and then Pappy 15 and Thomas H. Handy made close runner ups to those two. But
Anything found north. Who is this
mhm.
guy?
Who
Marco.
Marco.
Marco's tried some anything
He's
found
tried a
north,
little more.
right?
I mean, he's definitely tried this Songle barrel, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Well,
Yeah.
next time Marco comes over, it's a found north night for sure.
Mhm.
For sure.
Oh, that's dope. All right. All right. So, um, here's a big question. I want to hear we're gonna list off some do you have names behind these ones for the next listing?
If I tab over, I can check it
Okay, cool.
real slow.
So we said, what was your favorite whiskey overall, podcast or not? What was your go-to pour this year? And we just collected about 6 or 7 of our favorites of this. And yeah, go through the ones we do have.
Yeah, you want me to call out names too?
If you can. I can list
Yeah.
the whiskeys if you got the names.
I finagled it here. I'm
Okay,
good to
cool.
go. So we got Garrison Ladybird
Hey,
from, you guessed it, Texas Man Whiskey Shaman.
yeah.
We got JD Coy Hill from Joey
Nice.
T. We
Joey
got the
T.
single barrel Brook Hill 15-year daytime
Nice.
disco from Max. He sent me a sample of that too. I'm really
Was
excited
it
to try
good?
when my
Okay,
nose
cool.
clears up here.
Nice.
But he also really loved the Springbank 13 local barley.
Makes
I
sense.
gotta try that sometime too
That
here.
sounds
But
amazing.
again, that was Max. We got Found North Batch 10 from Cody Clark.
Nice.
We got Kings County Peated Rye from Miles Ferguson.
Uh-huh.
Nashville Barrel Company, Stella's Stash. I think
Who said
Stella,
that?
that is Austin Peterjohn.
Okay, cool. Thanks for writing in,
Yeah,
Austin.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
intrigued.
Oh, you know what? Well, so
Uh-huh.
actually, just I happen to notice over here on the sheet just a little blurb about Nashville from Austin here. He says
Oh,
Nashville
nice.
Barrel Company's been impressing me so much lately.
Uh-huh.
He's local, so there's a little bias there.
Nice. Hey,
More interviews and drink-alongs. Oh yeah, okay. Anyway, other notes, but anyway,
hey,
Nashville Barrel
Austin.
Company's been yeah
If you can get us a bottle of this, maybe we'll do a drink along for it.
yeah
I don't know. Maybe it's really hard
for
to
sure.
find. Yeah. We should do
Russell's
another
15.
scotch though. Maybe Max can hook us up with a good Campbelltown or something like that, you know.
Yeah. We did there were in the suggestions
Mhm.
there were several people who said more scotches, more scotches, more scotches.
Hey, for
Yeah.
the podcast or for drink alongs or both?
For episodes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. We really should. And not just Islas. Yeah, because we've been doing a
Yeah.
lot of Islas.
Rounded it out here though, we got Marco and AZ saying Russell's Reserve 15 was favorite overall.
Nice.
Adam aka Dramhound says Coy Hill favorite overall.
Nice. You just gave away Dramhound's position / his name.
Should I
No one
believe it?
can know. He's
Uh-oh.
just Dramhound. Everyone
Yeah,
forget that.
right.
Strike it from the record.
Yeah,
No,
we'll
I'm
get a
kidding.
nice bleep in there maybe.
Yeah, we'll get a bleep in there, yeah.
Jim says Port Charlotte 10-year heavy peated.
Jim Mathwig?
Yeah,
Nice. Good
Jimbo.
for you, Jim Mathwig.
Paul Clarkson says Coy Hill is best, but JT
Mm,
Melick most surprising.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, and we got Static Zach in here saying Russell's Reserve 15. So
Nice.
several Russell's Reserve 15s is best overall.
Yeah, I like that. All
Yeah.
right. What about you?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Favorite. Oh, you know what?
Uh-huh.
Favorite overall
Yeah.
podcast or not?
Yeah. Did anything beat Russell's Reserve 15?
Honestly, no. It's like I
Really?
could I could give some honorable mentions
Yeah.
here or there, I guess, but no, I'm totally in agreement with
Really?
too many other people who say Russell's is best whiskey of
Dude,
the
I
year.
could list at least two that beat Russell's 15 this year.
Oh
Yeah, for
yeah?
me. Yeah. But I want to hear your before I give my answers, what were your non-episode favorites this year?
Well, so actually, yeah. Better whiskeys than we had on the show.
Uh-huh.
You already know how I feel about Russell's 15, but let me
Yeah.
say that I did get to try a sample of an old tanked Saz
Ayo.
18, and I got to compare it against the 2024 Saz 18. And the tanked
Uh-huh.
Saz just had so much more like bright fruits going on in it, and
I
it
mean,
had
there's a
way
reason they tanked it.
I know
I mean,
less like
part of the reason is because they didn't have a good stack, but
yeah, probably.
go on.
It worked out well though.
Yeah, it did.
Less of the earthy tobacco stuff going on with the tanked Saz, so it was just so much
Mhm.
more fruity. It was
Yeah.
very very good. It was very impressive. But also the hazmat koi
Nice.
from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, however long it
Nice.
was, that was quite impressive too.
Mhm.
Yeah, what about you though?
You should try this with water for the
Which
record.
one?
Our single
Ours?
barrel. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
here we go. Here we go.
I think it did it good. Did it good. Actually, I might even prefer it with few drops. Um, all right, so yeah, I did have two that I just randomly tried this year. And shout out to Brian Duncan, who shared something at our meetup bottle share that surprised everyone. Like it wasn't that much of a surprise, but it blew my friggin' mind. That was William LaRue Weller 2021.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that was good.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I love Russell's 15, but that Willie LaRue just kicked its butt to me. It was
Yeah.
the most like upfront complex bourbon easily I've had this year. Like, and what I mean by upfront complex is that like some whiskeys are complex, but it takes a bit.
Yeah.
After 2 seconds with William LaRue Weller 2021, it was like, holy cow, this is it hits all the buttons for me.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, for the most part, we've talked about this like in a little ways left and right, even on the Discord, that William LaRue Weller isn't always a winner to me. In fact, this year it was all right.
Yeah.
And but 2021 just tapped all the buttons for me. Like it was, I
For
mean, it
sure.
wasn't better than, I mean, it was top 5 probably in my record of whiskeys. It was top 5 to top 10. It was so good. And then
Mhm.
another one that we got to try while we were at Ice with Bowman off the off air, uh, amazing head distiller, but also just a really generous guy. Was like, hey, you guys want to try any of the prior Abraham
Yeah.
any fancy release they've ever done?
He opened the
He yeah,
closet and
with
and
this
the
metal
angels
cabinet.
sang and trumpets sounded, and
Yeah.
every Bowman release that's ever been released was in the closet.
And I was like, dude, if I could try anything again, which I've had it before, the Sweet 16, and he poured like an ounce or two. Like it was
No,
like an ounce and a half at least.
he didn't pour. He just handed us the
Oh yeah,
bottle,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he was
He's
like,
just like,
"Here
yeah,
you go."
exactly.
And so we were pouring, and it was like, uh, uh.
Yeah, yeah. And Sweet 16 was a winner,
Yeah,
absolute winner.
insane.
Yeah. That also, tapped all the buttons or checked all the boxes of like things I love about whiskey.
Yeah.
And it was hot too. I mean, it wasn't too hot, but it was like good enough to be like, like
Yeah.
full
Well,
bodied up front.
we had finished recording the episode by then, so we
And
had
we had
sampled
cast strength and the
stuff
French
already.
oak. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get so it's almost like, how, like, if you're doing a blind, you always
Yeah.
tend to lean for glass number 3 because you, like, warm
Yeah.
up on your way there. It's like, we warmed up on our way there, and that Sweet 16 was just insane.
Did we take advantage of any others in the cabinet?
I don't I
I
don't
feel
think
like we
so.
did.
I think
Which is
we
too
were a
bad.
little shy, I think.
But
Yeah.
David was very emphatic, in my opinion, that we come back and do another one. So maybe we will get an opportunity. Maybe we'll do like
Love
Abraham
to.
Bowman batch 1 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
for
My
sure.
Google Home is going off and I don't want it to.
I don't think I heard
Um,
it at all, but,
no,
Bowman,
it was like collecting and about to respond. I'm
oh.
like, no, 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 no.
Okay,
Yeah,
purchasing Abraham Bowman
yeah,
cast strength
exactly.
batch 1.
From one of
Yeah, for
those random websites
for
that sells it for
$2,000.
like unicornauctions.com or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But you did, Bowman cast strength number 1, right? On the show,
I
they
got
sent
a
you a whole
full
bottle
bottle
then.
of that from
Yeah, yeah,
Sazerac, yeah, back in the
yeah.
day,
So,
and that
I
was
don't know.
good.
We'll think of something good.
Well, I was
Yeah.
thinking of Abraham Bowman batch 1,
Oh, the first special
not A.
release.
Smith Bowman batch
I'm
1,
with you, I'm
yeah.
with you.
Mhm.
That American oak, man, I'm desperate to try that
Ooh, how much
125
is that
proof.
running? It's like, yeah, like
Uh
135-ish or something?
I really haven't been looking lately, but, I think it's 125. I think it's like 10
Is
year,
it? No, it's
somewhere.
totally in the 130s for proof. Are you talking proof?
Okay, cool. I was talking proof, and, but then for price, I don't know. I think, the volume has been really low, so it's been hard to
Yeah,
see, but, I wanna say people were asking like 600 or so.
okay.
Yeah.
That's probably good. And what was the age? Do you remember? Was it 12
I
years?
wanna say it was somewhere around 10 years. It had
Okay.
good age on it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which is surprising compared, not that the French oak wasn't young, that's for sure, but I did not expect the American oak to be so much different in specs from the French
Oh,
oak or the
totally agree.
American
Proof
versus
and all. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. All right, next question. Next question. Favorite purchase this year, Brian?
Mm. Mhm, mhm. As I sip here.
Mhm, mhm. What do you think of the water?
Yeah, so I was thinking, again, caveat, I'm getting a little, like, minerality now.
Okay,
It's
okay, okay.
definitely thinned out the sharp spice.
Yeah.
Um, there is
It's more
spice
honey to me.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's spice there, but it's not as sharp,
Yeah.
and, yeah, I think the oiliness kinda thinned out a little bit too. It's just a little more agreeable all around now, but I think it's a little less impressive
Oh,
now
really?
with
I
water.
gotta go
Yeah,
back and forth now.
yeah.
Let's do that while you answer.
Yeah, favorite purchase this year. So, yeah, I gotta this is what came to my mind first. So I'll tell this story here. So I go to this gas station,
Yeah,
and I get a tip
I
from my
remember this.
buddies. Oh, it was actually the same story with the Russell's 15 situation.
Nice.
So I
Uh-huh.
go there to see, like, if they have anything else or whatever. And sure enough, they've got tons. It was insane.
Nice.
And it was all the Buffalo Trace stuff was priced like
Yeah.
stupidly, but they had like the old Jack twice barreled single
Yeah,
malt
yeah. Uh-huh.
for like $80, which I think is
What?
MSRP ish.
If not
They had
less.
Yeah, they had a
Yeah.
couple other things too. I don't even remember right now that I was just like, yeah, I'll take that too. I'll take that too.
Yeah.
And and then I left and
Uh-huh.
then I went back in because I was like, oh, I wanted to plant the bug in their ear. Like if they get in, oh, it
Yeah.
was EH Taylor Barrel Proof Rye. I was like, if you get in an
Yeah.
EH Taylor Barrel Proof Rye, can you give me a call? So when I go back in,
Yeah.
I walk up to the counter and the guy's kind of like back in his office and
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, hey, you asked about the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill, right?" And I was like,
Yeah. Yes.
"Yup." Yeah. And he was
That's
like, "Yeah, I
great.
found it. I found it. Hang on one sec." And I was like,
Mhm.
"Sweet, thanks." And I just like stood there and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening."
Yeah.
And then sure enough, he comes out with a Coy Hill and it was like $100 or something.
Yes.
So
Feels so good.
that was my favorite purchase because it was one of those just like
Mhm. Mhm.
I felt hashtag blessed.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you asked about that koi, right? And I was like, hell yeah, I did. But not
Yeah.
nearly that suave.
Yeah. That's funny. No, mine was a fun story too. Um, this was, I don't remember, maybe the summer. But this was when Virginia was on a text basis drop. And so if you get a text or an email, you drop everything and go to the liquor store. And the liquor store is on the list and then hope they have something good. So this one, I remember jumping off my back patio into my driveway to get into my
Yes.
car. Like no stairs, just jumping and hopping in the car. And it was like a Saturday, I want to say. So it was like I had a little bit more freedom to just leave. I told my wife, of course, and was like, "Hey, I'll be right back." And luckily, the liquor store is 3-4 minutes away. So I get there, and they're like, "You're the first person here." And I'm like, "Sweet, what do you got?" And I'm looking through some Sazerac options, and then I see a Russell's Reserve 15 for $250. Or it was like 260 or something like that. And I'm like, "Yes, that I'll take it." And I wondered if I would regret it, but
Right.
I don't. It was worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think before Russell's came out and we heard the MSRP, I think I
Mhm.
was like, no way I'm buying that. I can't spend $250 on
Mhm. I
whatever,
remember you
whatever.
saying that. You're like, "I don't think it's
Yep.
gonna be worth it." Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when you said you
Mhm.
bought it, I was like, "Oh, well, I'm glad somebody
Mhm.
bought it because like I'm
Yeah.
really
And then
excited to
you
try it." But
at the time, you had never had the opportunity, you got one before you even sipped the or we did an episode on it, basically. So I bought
yeah.
it, sent it to you to do an episode on, and then you bought your own by that point. So you
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
drink the sample I'd sent you or something like that.
I don't think that happened with the Russells
No, no,
because
I realize what had happened now is that you said you bought one later. You bought a full bottle later, and you're like, "Well, I'll just send you back the sample that you sent me through your
oh,
bottle, basically." But then we never
oh
did
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it took me like a month or 2 or 3
Mhm.
after the episode to finally come around because
Oh, really?
somebody
Maybe
else
I'm
had
wrong.
one.
Yeah.
Brian Duncan had one or something.
Mhm.
It took me a while before I
Dude,
finally bought my own Russells and,
it was a
paid a
win.
little too much for it, but sure am
Mhm.
glad I did now. Yeah.
So do you only have one bottle?
Correct. I have
That's cool.
that one right there. It's about 2/3 full, I think.
Nice. Yeah, mine
Were you?
is
Oh, you're pointing on my screen.
5/8.
5/8. Nice.
5/8. Yeah.
The
So,
bottle is more than
no, I
half
like
full.
that.
Yeah.
But now my dude, I missed Stag the other day, like a week and a half ago,
Oh,
at, the drop that
did
was
you see what batch
happening.
it was?
No, no idea. Um
24C's been hitting here, and
oh, really?
Slugga Fitzpatrick got his hands on one, and his favorite batch ever is 22A, like by a
Uh-huh.
mile, just like me. But
Yeah.
he sipped that 24C next to the 22A, and he was like, "Oh
Uh-huh.
my gosh, this really gives 22A a run for its money." So
Really?
now I'm like hard up for a 24C now.
Yeah. That sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next on the survey list, we have what was one or two of your favorite jokes you remember from the podcast? We always love recurring jokes, or even just single-use jokes that maybe we'll make happen in the future.
And I thought this
Uh,
was funny.
yeah,
We no two people said the same
yeah,
joke.
I like that.
Yeah,
Which, yeah,
it's very
in the
evenly
past we've
spread.
done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I'll list the first three or four. Someone said, do you know who said this? Maybe
Oh,
not a
yeah.
joke, but hearing you guys review Little Book Infinite or The Infinite,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which
Let
we
me
did not like.
jokes.
We thought it was subpar.
That
But
was Static
apparently,
Zach.
okay, apparently Max was like, I gave it another shot later, and it was actually really good.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do that because
I
you
know.
have a bottle.
I've got this much left in my bottle here.
I actually
And
might
I'm
have a
holding
little
up
bit left in my
about
sample.
2 inches left in my bottle here. And yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely want to give it another shot, but I know that I've already given it another shot since the episode, and I was
And it
just like,
wasn't.
nope.
It was
Tell you
still
what I need to
flavorless
do.
gum.
I need to blind it. That's what I need to do.
Yeah.
So we'll
Did
see.
we use the phrase flavorless gum on the episode or just on the thumbnail? I think we
Think
did on the episode.
you
Yeah.
said it on the episode, and that's how it
Mhm.
made it its way
It's
into the
like
thumbnail. Yeah.
it is gum, but it's not really special. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's
Right.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Um, Songle Barrel is a classic, said someone. Do you know who said that?
That is Max.
Max. Infinite Whiskey Hack. Let me guess, that's Ben Klepsig.
No, it's Marco.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's like, oh man, I have more whiskey now. I do like that one. Bush's Baked Beans, classic. Did
Yeah, for
anyone?
sure. That's Joey T.
Joey T. Whiskey Drinking Panda. I'll let you handle the last three of or at least the ones I see.
So whenever Cole gets salty about something,
I thought that was Max. Maybe that's Sean Ciaro or something.
Miles loves when you get salty about
Wait,
something.
Miles said that? That's so funny.
Yeah, he said
I wouldn't
whenever
have
Cole gets
expected
salty
that.
about something.
That sounds like a Sean Ciaro or Max thing to say. So yeah.
And Dramhound here, he says two different ones.
Boxes.
He loves box of seals, and not since
And
the accident.
yeah, not since the accident.
Yeah, and you didn't. Yeah, nickname in high school. You didn't do that one yet, right? That was Paul Clarkson.
Nice. Classics. These are all good jokes.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
We'll continue bringing them on. What was your
I
favorite,
do.
man? Or at least one of your favorites?
So honorable mention first. I do love Infinite Whiskey Hack. It's just hilarious
It is
to
a
me,
good
and
one.
like technically, it's true because if you
Yeah.
keep adding water, your parabolically your amount of
Yeah.
alcohol in the glass will
There's
approach zero.
asymptotic at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it will. Yeah, asymptotic. Thank you. It will
Yeah.
never actually reach zero
Yeah.
technically. So there is infinite whiskey in there. It's
It's
just
like my sourdough starter. It's like technically there's probably an atom or two of the
Yeah.
original starter in my sourdough starter that is almost 5 years old now. Yeah.
The COVID starter. Yeah, you did the
Yep.
COVID starter.
April
That's great.
1st, 2020. It's been
Fantastic.
almost 5 years now.
Nice.
I thought a good one
Yeah.
was it's not an original joke, but it is on the podcast, if that makes any sense. But opportunities to say D's nuts. I always love D's nuts.
I have been
Ah!
loving that lately. Mine
Oh yeah.
I can never get enough of tour versus tour. And the thing that I love about that is when we bring like other people on the show, that gets like
we like
introduced
hype it
and
up. Like, come on,
it
what do you say?
inevitably becomes a conversation topic with everyone. Because like
That's true.
distilleries and master distillers end up talking
They're
about
always
the tour
doing whiskey distillery tours. Yeah.
yeah. And then just whenever they say it, however they say it,
We always look at each other.
even if I'm mid sip, I'm just like, like my eyes like get huge, and I'm looking at you like, did you hear that?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that won't get old. That's one of the ones that like we can't overdo because we're like,
And that and like with Nick, it turned into a whole conversation about how he says like rum instead of room.
Yeah, let me do a rum tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love Nick. I thought about. So here's the thing: Nick might listen to this, or maybe he won't. But I really appreciate Nick, and because like sometimes you think like, are they? Because Found North sends a lot of media samples out these days.
For sure.
Like you see them all over Instagram
Yeah.
when they send them out. But here's the thing. we were the only people to get Helldiver before release.
Yeah.
And dude gave us the lineup, batches 1 through 8, on the podcast. And I'm like, dude, he likes us. Nick Taylor friggin' likes us. So listen to that, listeners, and trust us. We're likable. We're likable.
Yeah. See, we told you we're likable.
Talk
in
to
your
Ben
face.
Klepsik. He likes us.
Yeah.
People like us, man.
I wonder, because we are enthusiasts and
Yes,
we are nerds, and we love hearing about the details, and we love knowing the details. And I just wonder, I don't watch too much other whiskey YouTube influencers,
Yeah.
and I just wonder, how much passion there is in other channels versus ours. And
Not like us.
I hope that comes through, to Found North and other favorite distilleries we have, obviously Del Bach, like they just, I hope that they get how much we love them and we care to know and share about their products. Yeah.
And we gotta figure out this meetup this summer, like this month. Because it's going down at Driftless Glen, Baraboo, Wisconsin. Dude,
I know.
There's some cool hiking in Baraboo.
Really?
Now
Now I know.
There's like this crazy lake thing. I mean, it's Wisconsin, so there's lakes everywhere.
Right.
But there's this like really cool. I did a hiking thing with some friends up in Baraboo. It was dope.
So there's one more thing that you need to keep in mind.
Okay.
In Tucson, we talked about this like a whole year ago almost.
Okay.
There is a craft whiskey festival or something.
Oh yeah. It's like craft whiskey.
In Tucson, and I don't remember what month it's in, but it's definitely like February, March, April. Where if you were able to come to Phoenix, like we could probably get media passes.
Yeah, that's what you told me. Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah, let me know the dates again.
Yeah, we'll see.
Media passes will be dope.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do number 7 here? What was the
chill filtered?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what that would look like. Okay, so I'm gonna drop some ice real quick.
Oh, very good, very good. Please do. I did a little water in my other ones. It's all kind of running together at this point. Water didn't really bring anything exceptional out of the other single barrels that I have, the American oak and the Spanish oak. I did end up getting on our pick, the French oak. I did end up getting a really unique note that was like it was a little chocolatey suddenly for me.
Good
Sweet.
chocolatey?
Well, so now for me, not so much, but
not like
when you get the chocolatey desserts that have a little bit of like pepper in them, spice in them, like a red pepper chocolate desserty thing. I did get that from ours a little bit with a little bit of water. I don't know. It could be there on the neat too. I just suddenly realized it.
Like red pepper flakes, kind of.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it ended up being like a spicy chocolate dessert that is prevalent in Arizona, at least.
Spicy meatball.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my latest interesting tasting note, but I'll probably go ahead and do ice.
Speaking of spicy meatballs, did you eat Jim and Patty's chocolates yet?
Oh no, I didn't. They're in the pantry though. They're right over there.
They're good.
You try them all 3?
Shout out to Jim and Patty. Huh?
Have you tried all 3 or just one?
I put them down in a day, dude.
Yes. Nice.
They were gone, but some of them were spicy, and those reminded me of what you were saying.
So I'm not a big spicy dessert person. Like I usually want to keep those two things separated, but like as with all things, I love, trying. Like prove me wrong, show me something that you think I might like. So
it was good.
Yeah. Nice.
And good people. You married you married into a good family.
Yeah.
So
why don't you do number 7 for us here? Most memorable moment of the podcast.
All right. Some people said, or the biggest winner was Meetup. Ayo. Then I'll mention some other ones that didn't make the top of the list, but entire Christmas edition, as always, having my sample of Hardin Creek Boston reviewed by you guys. Who was that?
Static Zach.
Hey, girl dad drama, always memorable.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
and then someone said the Reentry Buzz episodes were a great addition to the weekly lineup. I agree. Excuse me.
Totally. That was Joey T.
Nice.
Girl Dad
Nick
Drama
Taylor.
was actually Whiskey Shaman, by the way.
Ooh. Now tell us, Whiskey Shaman, are you a girl dad? Would be
Yeah,
surprised.
because I didn't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Next said Nick Taylor interviews are the best, and I
I
agree.
know.
He's such a fun dude. And like we've said this before, I said this 5 minutes ago. Nick Taylor is awesome, and he likes us. He
Yeah.
likes us.
I say that every 5 minutes. Ask Sam.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, worst case scenario, like this is the darkest joke ever, and I don't know why my mind goes here. It's like I was gonna kill myself today, but I know that Nick Taylor likes me, so I'm not gonna do that
Yeah.
today.
Well, doing that every 5 minutes, it really makes it hard to sleep. But all through the night, I wake up every 5 minutes and talk about how awesome
Yeah,
Nick Taylor is.
yeah, and yeah, you're not even suicidal. But and then someone said all the interviews, which I dig. Like it's happy and healthy to put in an interview episode, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, everyone
And
needs a good
then
interview episode every now and then.
yeah, no, for sure. And then someone said discussing the standards of Empire Rye in the Kings County episode.
Dramhound.
Nice. You want to know a secret? I know Colin Spolman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not listening right now. I didn't love Kings County.
Oh no, you didn't, because I do. I'll take the opposite on
cool.
that one. Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah, I do. I think that they, for as high of latitude as their location is,
Mhm.
the amount of flavor that comes out in their products is
Yeah.
impressive to me.
I get too much small barrel
Mm.
feel from them,
Mhm.
from their whiskey. But I loved Colin, and he was such a cool guest.
For sure.
But yeah, I get a little too youthful on their stuff in general. But that's the thing, is like he reps that. Like, and that's the thing also, is like some people really dig really good new make that doesn't need much aging.
Right.
Which is what Colin's like mantra is like make good new make.
Yeah.
And then the rest will take care of itself. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all right. But what about you? What was your favorite memorable moment?
Ooh, what was my favorable memorable moment?
It's a
Did I
hard
say
thought.
anything on here?
Done
Most
like
memorable
2 days worth
moment.
of episodes in the last
Meetup.
year.
The meetup, of course,
Mm.
was most memorable. That was amazing. Had so much fun with other
Mm.
people, and thank you for everyone who went out of your way to come to that meetup. But the A. Smith Bowman tour, that was like life-changing.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
We should have
way-
we should publish some of that eventually.
Oh yeah, because I took
All the
video and
videos we
everything.
did. Yeah. It'd be
But
weird to just like compile it all though.
David treated us like kings.
Dude. And he was so chill. Like he was like, yeah. And
David
that was also
hammer his bung.
Yeah,
David
dude,
let me hammer his
you
bung.
hammer that bung hard.
Yeah.
But I think the meetup, I agree. The meetup was definitely the pinnacle of the moments of the podcast this year. But I also agree, second to that, but not only second to that, way up there, at least, concerning events that happened with the podcast this year. We got to drink A. Smith Bowman's unaged batch, their first batch of their first rye they're ever going to put out. And they just had a ton of new make rye. And David's like, here, he's like, how do I get this thing to open? And he like figures out like how to do the spout on this huge tank of whiskey, new make rye whiskey. And he's like, we've never done a rye before. This is our first rye. It's not even aged yet. And we're like, me and Brian were like, cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Inside, we're like, this is crazy.
I know.
It was awesome. So,
you know what I should have done? Lesson learned. I should have, because I was taking video and stuff at the time.
Yeah.
I should have like videoed each other, like trying it and like talking about it.
Telling me that David told us not to say anything. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't
But we
know.
know now they've actually put out a TTB notification for a
Oh,
label
yeah.
on
That's
the
right.
rye, but it's not aged yet. So I'm like, I mean, it's barely aged, so I don't know why they
Right.
put it out. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. You
Dude,
know what's a thought? Go ahead.
you know, it's a thought.
Uh-huh.
10-year A. Smith Bowman rye cast strength.
Yo, dude, like, here's the thing. Here's the thing is that we talked about this with E.H. Taylor barrel strength rye. It's like, for some reason, so okay, we do know this, that most of A. Smith Bowman's distillate is from Buffalo Trace. We do know that Buffalo Trace's most aged rye is like 6 years. What up with that? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sazerac 18, different story.
Right.
But
Yeah.
most aged barrel proof
Yeah.
rye is like 6.5 years. What up with that? Let's get us a 10-year cast strength rye from Buffalo Trace, not from
Yeah.
Barton, not from Barton.
Please. Please not from Barton.
Yeah. Dude, I was so let down. That was the most negative hub to what this year was
Yeah.
the E.H. Taylor barrel proof rye.
Yeah, we could have been a little more ruthless in that episode, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, it might not have been the worst whiskey I've ever had, but it was such a letdown.
So now, yes,
It
and
wasn't like it wasn't a 7 to 8 score. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong. It was an 8 to 9 score,
the
but
most
I was
negative,
expecting handy times two, basically. Like a
right.
good handy times two. Yeah.
It wasn't that, it was exceptionally negative, you know? So
Mhm.
like I still don't
Yeah,
truly believe that
wasn't
it
terribly
deserved
that
a
bad.
bad score.
Yeah.
It was just
Hype.
it was I'm exaggerating a little bit here,
Yeah.
caveat, but it was one note ish in
Yeah.
that it was all about the herbal. It was
Yeah,
herbal,
super
herbal,
herbal.
herbal,
Yeah.
super herbal. So, you know, I'm sure somebody out there loves herbal ryes.
Oh, yeah.
So, E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye might be their favorite rye of all time
Mhm.
because they just love herbal ryes. There wasn't anything about it that was like definitively, unanimously, if you took a poll of everyone in the world, bad. It
Yeah.
was just that it was like crazy, crazy herbal,
Yeah.
which is unique. And
Yeah.
anyway,
But that's not I mean, that's not the Buffalo Trace you know, profile that I was
yeah.
hoping for.
Yeah. I love Buffalo Trace because of the herbalness is not a
Yeah.
sentence anyone's
Not a
ever
thing
said.
people say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. No matter what the age or the type, it's never
Right.
where you're gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that. All right.
Now we do have
Mhm.
a sub question here.
Yeah.
Most
Uh-huh.
memorable moment, but specific to the meetup.
Yep.
What do you think?
I like your answer, but I'm not going to mention it yet. But I also just think, like, having everyone there, like, it was just such a having everyone at the pick was such a moment for me. Doing this for, at that point, 6 plus years,
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy that, like, so many cool people are here right now. We get to drink and we get to do our
Exactly.
first pick. And like, the funny thing was, Chris Riesbeck was just like, "You guys, this is your first pick?" And we're
Yeah,
like,
he
"Yeah,
was dumbfounded.
we wanted to do something like epic for our first pick." And he's like, "Yeah," he was like dumbfounded by that. But we're like, "We want to do something cool." And so like bringing everyone together for the pick was very it was like real for me. I was like not like choked up, but like close to that where it was like, "Man, this is cool. It's cool to
Yeah.
see so many people here that could take part of it and enjoy such a fun moment with the meetup with us. So that was one of my favorite moments from the meetup.
Yeah. And like for me, I love putting on stuff. I
Hmm.
love putting on tastings here in my home
Hmm.
and love having people over. So
Yeah.
it was really, really special for me to, as part of the meetup weekend, have
Yeah.
everyone, as many as wanted to, come to my
Yeah.
home
Nice.
and have a tasting here. And it was extra special with the whole Jim Beam phone decanter thing from what year was it again?
1980.
1980 Jim
45-year
Beam
old. Yeah.
rotary phone
Mhm.
decanter. Like there were so many. It was just awesome to have everybody here
Yeah.
in my home. However, the one
Mm.
thing that outdid that feeling of having listeners and everyone in here
Yes.
in my home for a tasting was drinking straight from the barrel at Del Bach.
Dude, that
That
was
like
legit.
when we were at Bowman, A. Smith Bowman, that was so special. You know, when I hammered out
Mhm.
the bung and then I got
Yeah.
to dip the thief in and
Yeah.
do all that. Well, we got to do all that at Del Bach, and we got to do it with so many listeners and so many other people too. It was
Yeah.
an exceptional experience.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. And
No, that
I mean,
was
it's so
amazing.
cool.
And, like, not
The
only the standard like, not just the standard barrels at Whiskey Del Bach, he was pulling out, like, the very like, the experimental barrels that we were
That's
working with.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It is when they release their distillers cuts and whatnot, it is blends from
Yeah.
different finishing casks.
Mhm.
So the public does not get to try these individual
Yeah.
components from casks. And
Yeah.
but because he loved us and we love him.
Mhm.
Oh,
Dude,
by the way,
baller. Mark
what
Viertaler, man. Yeah? Bring it on.
Mark Viertaler
Uh-huh.
hopefully is watching this, but if he's not,
Yeah.
this will continue to be a surprise. Mark, nobody tell it, please, nobody send him
Yeah.
this on
Nobody
Instagram.
send him.
But when we were at Del Bach, Mark Viertaler was telling me about how he grew up in Kansas. So
Uh-huh.
did I.
Yeah.
I can't remember for sure if he went to Kansas State,
I
but
think he
I did.
did.
So he went to, or his first distilling gig was at a
Yeah.
distillery called Boot Hill Distillery
Did you
out
find
of
a bottle?
Kansas. And here's what he did. He told
Uh-huh.
us when we were down there, he said, given when he was there, the
Yeah.
timeline, he said, if you find a bottle of Boot Hill that is aged 6 years, that has a 6-year age statement on it,
Distilled it.
that is his first distillate from his first gig when he was a master distiller.
Wow, and you
And
found
look
some.
at this right here. So, Mark, if you're watching this, this is for you. And please reach out to us
Wow.
on Instagram because I plan on getting this to you in the near
That's
future here.
cool.
But
I
but
love that. Did you get a few
if
bottles?
no, I only got the one for Mark.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, Mark, if you're not watching, we still love you, and I will
Yeah.
give this to you as a gift sometime in the
Yeah.
near future.
Mhm. What a baller. You know what's funny? I was thinking, speaking of drinking from barrels and this year, you remember when we were drinking with David Bach and he's like, you wanna like put a weight, not like a legit wager, but he's like, you wanna find out what the proof is and you wanna like
I
take
know.
guesses of the proof. I was like, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so cool. I'm like, all right, 136 or something like that. And it turned out to be like 138 or something like that from the barrel. Yeah.
I remember that because I took
Mhm.
way too long on my guess, and I
Yeah.
think it got cringy, but
It wasn't cringy to me.
live and learn, live and learn.
No, no. It was amazing. All right. And just to finish it up, we're not going to do any whiskey world news this week. Maybe we should do a what whiskey would you choose? We'll think of it on the
Ooh,
fly.
yeah.
Where I got one in mind already. But our last question for the Chili's Awards episode is, how did you find the podcast? Which is not really a Chili's award. But we got a lot of people that said they found us through your drinking buddy this year. So
Yeah.
cheers to you guys.
Yeah, right. Shout
Baller.
out to right here. Let's get some dings on this guy. And on my Glencairn right here is your drinking buddy. Thank you
Oh.
so much for collabing with us
Mm-hmm.
on our YouTube channels here
He's a
and bringing
pro.
some new eyeballs to our channel. So thank you very much.
Mhm. Dude's a pro. I love that guy. And then
Yeah,
Matt
I just wanted to
Madness
mention
made the
too.
list.
Yeah, did you know Joey T found us out from Matt
I'm not
Madness?
surprised because he came around about that time.
Nice.
But he might have
Yeah,
mentioned that before. Joey
nice.
T's a
That's cool.
baller. Love that guy.
Nice. For sure.
One of our favorite Texans, but not our only favorite. We got a few favorite Texans.
Ooh. Is that what the T stands for? Is Texas? Joey Texas?
No, but I won't dox him by giving away his
I'm
last
kidding.
name.
I'm kidding. No, I know it is.
Yeah. Thank you guys for an amazing year. I know this is a little late in the season, but thank you for another great, fun Chili's Awards episode for representing 2024. Here's to 2025. I never gave my notes on the ice pour, but I don't know if it was better, but it wasn't bad. So if you guys are out there listening and you have one of our Songle barrels, try it with some ice. It won't hurt you.
Yeah.
All right. So Brian and I were talking before this episode. We were actually talking, shout out to Miles Ferguson and his lovely wife, Patricia, who I have mentioned before has a great palate for whiskey, probably better than Miles. And
some
Miles
good
would
drink
probably
along notes. Yeah.
Miles would probably actually rep this too, is that she's got a great palate. But one of the funny things we were talking about, I mentioned to Brian that I was talking to Miles Ferguson somewhat prior to the episode recording, and I was like, and I mentioned Patricia and her, decent palate notes, and I was like, what would they call her? And then I was reminded of Richard Patterson, the Dalmore master blender or whatever, and he is known as the Nose across Scotland and across the Scotland distilling kind of scene. And if you were known as something like that, the blank, what would you want to be known as in the whiskey world?
I got this.
What whiskey would you choose this week?
Nice.
You got
it? I got you. So whether this is true or whether this is actually true now or not, I don't care, because this is what I want to be known as. I want to be known as the storyteller. I want to be known as like the experience teller. So because in general, when I give whiskey tasting notes, I feel like I fall on more of just like, I want to tell you what the experience is like as you take the sip and what happens through the sip and what happens at the end of the sip. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this tastes like apples and cardamom and just a bunch of like random stuff.
Tobacco, pepper, white pepper.
Like I want to tell you how you're going to feel through the sip and not what you should be tasting individual components as you sip it. So and also in general, I do love telling stories, and I love having a good story set up and being able to walk you through what I was feeling at the time and things like that. So the storyteller is what my moniker should be.
Nice. I like that. It actually gave me direction towards my answer. What you said.
Fantastic.
I want to be known as, like, I don't know, people like we've been doing this. I've been doing this for 6.5 years now. And I think what stands out and what I want to my New Year's resolution for the podcast personally is to be even more real. And I want to be known as the vulnerable guy. Who is real about whiskey but real about life, and bring that, I still do. I do these days. I did in the past. I'm always been try to be vulnerable and real and just talk about what my life is like, and that I'm not anywhere near perfect and don't expect to be anytime soon, but maybe one day I'll get there, but I doubt it. But I want to be super real, and whether it's about whiskey, but more about life, but also about whiskey. Like even just talking about the Kings County, I'm like, didn't love it. And
there's a level of honesty. Honesty that's in there too.
But also like just a level of like, hey, let's break it down for a moment, friends.
Well, I am always down to talk about stuff like that. So
no, I'm down. So let's do it. So anyway, any other thoughts before we I'm looking forward to the what whiskey would you choose thumbnail this week, or not thumbnail, and it'll be Richard Patterson being like, or like throwing it out or something like that.
Yeah, that's great.
It. If you were known as, quote, the Nose in your own way, or like, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe the whole, like what fills up your phone when you open the story in Instagram, it will just be Richard Patterson's nose, just like way too big.
Well, he does that thing where he's like, hello, how are you? Maybe we'll do a video real quick.
I'll see if I can figure that out.
Fine. How are you? Yeah.
Well, I hope that we get to drink as delicious whiskeys in 2025 as we did in 2024.
Before we hope, should we throw some out for next week?
Oh, yeah. What do you think? Yeah. I
Should probably
hope
look at the
you
list.
have whiskeys in mind for what we should drink next
Dude,
week.
I really want to drink that, like I don't know. I really want to drink a banger.
Well, I
But
thought you had
maybe
something.
we
I was gonna
should.
say, whatever's in your mind, let's do it.
No,
If
I
you
was
had
thinking
something in mind.
either William LaRue Weller 2023, George T. Stagg 2020,
Anything non-BTAC in your mind?
2022, or William LaRue Weller 2021. But I'm like,
No.
no, we've done a lot of BTEC lately. So
Yeah. Let's do a random BTAC in the middle of the year next year, but let's
yeah.
do something. Let's do some other banger next week that's
Or
non-BTAC.
we'll hope that a good BTEC shows up on the reentry buzz.
Ooh, God, that'd be
Um,
fun.
So here's what we're going to do. We're not going to mention it here on the podcast. Me and Brian will look over the list and decide, but we will put it up this week on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Two pick.
What will be or Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Wait. Yeah. Tuesday. Two pick Tuesday, not
Yeah.
whiskey would you choose Wednesday.
That's right.
But I hope we pick some good ones this week.
Yeah, and I hope that we get another sweet. I get another sweet Delbach experience here when I go visit Mark and give him this Boot Hill Distillery
Dude.
1863 Wabash Reserve.
Dude, that's the thing too. You can't just send it to him. You got to go down there and be check this out, Mark.
No doubt. I am handing him this in person. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, while you're there, remind him of the thing.
The thing.
If you go. No, I'll tell you later.
You have to tell me later.
Yeah. But no, I hope that we'll have another fun year of amazing episodes, amazing whiskeys, but also amazing interview episodes. I look forward to the opportunities this year. Like I could see Mia Arbaugh showing up again, actually, we should have the whiskey shaman on soon.
Yes, oh my gosh, we've given him the runaround for too long. We gotta do the blind with whiskey shaman.
I still have every sample he sent in this little thing right here, so we'll just have them on and drink them all.
I know we definitely need to do that, and I hope that I believe it's Mile High Spirits, Mile High Distilling.
What about
in Denver, Colorado?
Yeah.
I hope we can rekindle our email chain here, and we'll get him on the show too, because they were the guys who are all like rocket spacey focused, which I'm all about. So I hope we get him on the show too sometime.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, let's figure that out. We'll have some fun this year. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for being listeners for this long, whether it's your first episode or your 341st episode. I hope you guys still keep enjoying us and still keep having fun with us. Thanks for being such great supporters, but most of all, listeners, viewers, Brian, the world. I hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits. Where it's like, you know, like,